As Global Engagement Vice President and Senior Advisor at the Richardson Center, Mickey Bergman and his team have facilitated the release of more political prisoners than any other organization. Nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2019 as part of his work at the Richardson Center, Mr. Bergman has helped to pioneer the discipline of fringe diplomacy, exploring the spaces just beyond the boundaries of governmental capacity and authority. Please watch this video as we welcome the 2023 James W. Foley Legacy Foundation American Hostage Freedom Award tonight, the heroic Mickey Bergman.
My dad is very smart and funny. He is good at his job. He helps people that were wrongfully detained in other countries.
Anytime I hear about an American coming home, my first instinct is to reach out to Mickey Bergman. He is in the middle of so many of these recoveries.
I think Mickey's greatest strength is ability to communicate with families, with all of you that have had loved ones wrongfully detained or incarcerated. He bleeds with you. He loves all of you.
It's incredible to me the vulnerability and the love he can have with a family. In a moment where you have trouble trusting and you're traumatized, his selflessness really shines through.
He builds that trust and makes everyone around him feel that everything is possible.
Mickey is exactly the type of person you want in the trenches with you as you're trying to bring home your loved one. As a family member, you're constantly being told it's impossible, and Mickey is able to say, you know what, no, it may be difficult, but it's never impossible.
Without Mickey Bergman and Governor Richardson's involvement, we're not sure that the United States government would have acted to bring him home in the way they did, and we're not sure that our son would be alive today.
I know how long in time and in heart and in hours Mickey spends on each and every person that he's working to free. It's something that I say to my daughter, you know, sometimes we have to share Abba. Abba's Hebrew for dad. And we need to share him with families because they need their loved ones home.
Remember, Mickey, you saved not only me, but also my family and my students. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mickey.
He's the heart and soul of the Richardson Center. Yes, I get all the glory and the press and praise, but it's really Mickey that makes things happen.
Every single prisoner's case that he's ever worked on has become sincerely personal to him.
What really strikes me most about Mickey is that he's a man of passion and compassion. And I can't think of anyone probably better suited for this very tough work than someone like Mickey Bergman.
I'm very proud about what my father does.
Please welcome to the stage, Mickey Bergman.
Thank you. I want to take you back with me a little bit. About 4 months now, early January, on the Russian-Poland border. And as you can imagine, it's exactly what it is. It's gray, it's dark, it's cold, very narrow farm roads. We were 5 hours delayed already, and we had 3 hours to drive from the border to the airport in Gdansk where our plane was ready, and the time frame for our departure window was shrinking. I was driving a rented silver Toyota minivan. I had my phone with me, with Waze, because I don't know how to navigate farmlands in Poland. On the passenger seat next to me sits my boss, Governor Bill Richardson, yelling at me to get the press statement out because news already broke. Behind me in the seat, sits Steve Menzies. And those of you, Steve, where are you? You're over there. For anybody who doesn't know, Steve Menzies owns the plane that helped us in this, they're waiting for us. Steve Menzies partners with us in all of this. He came with us to Venezuela. He came with us to Russia. So all these families, all of you families here, sometimes you don't know these people. Please go and thank him for that. So Steve sits behind me in the car. In the car behind us, Taylor Dudley, who is the prisoner that we were able to get out of Russia that day, is sitting with his mother, Shelley, and a doctor, conducting a medical evaluation as we're rushing through this. And John Franks is sitting with them in the car. Where's John? Here's John. And while I'm driving, my phone blows up with calls and messages. And as you know, those of you who use Waze, every time somebody calls, the map goes away. And I'm just trying to figure out how to click this. And the governor yells at me, answer them. Why? Because these are reporters calling me. Where's Jenny Hansler? Yeah. Jenny, I think you were one of the massive texters in that occasion. And all I can think is like, oh my God, I'm just trying to keep this car on the road and not off the road. And at some point, I think we stopped for refueling, and I texted Jenny, and I was like, Jenny, do you realize I'm still driving the extraction car? And we're on the way to the airport. And she sent me, I think you sent me like a smiling emoji on that one. It's like, yeah, I love Jenny. Why did I want to start with this little description? Because I wanted to take you in with us of what it looks like, one of those extractions that we do. Because a lot of people think that we have resources and teams and advance and everything. We don't. We're really scrappy. We're improvising as we go. And we do not always get it right. We make a lot of mistakes in the way, but I have to be honest, I like it that way. I like the scrappiness of it. It feels very real. But in an evening like that, when our work actually gets recognized, and I thank you, Diane Foley, for this. I thank the Foley Foundation, the board that sits here, Ellen, everybody, the team, Cindy and Amy. Thank you so much for this honor. In an evening like this, that we're being recognized, I want to actually spend a couple of minutes reflecting on some of my failures, my shortcomings, and I have quite a few. I pride myself with the investment I make in building relationships, personal relationships, with some of pretty troubling governments and some complicated individuals, be it the Russians, the North Koreans, the Iranians, the Venezuelans, the military government in Myanmar. I invest so much time in preparing for each conversation, each email, each comment. And here's where I failed over the last couple of years. I have not invested enough or the same amount of attention in my relationships here at home with my colleagues in our own government. At times, I probably took those for granted. That was a mistake. As you know, this work is extremely personal, and it is emotional. And it is so easy to get caught up in those emotions when you expect others to behave in a certain way or take certain actions. As a result, in moments, I might have said some things carelessly, things that probably offended my colleagues in the administration. And what I did, I neglected to make sure that despite all of that, they know just how much I appreciate them, how much I appreciate their tireless work to bring home Americans. And I forget in those moments that our intentions are exactly the same. And so when I am frustrated because I'm missing time with my family and events and dinners, they're missing those too. And so I would like the little time that I have here to make sure that they know how I feel. And I want to recognize them. Some are here, some are not. But I want to make sure that they know that. Josh Geltzer, John Feiner, the Deputy National Security Advisor, David Cotter, Roger Costens, my good friend, and congratulations. Rob Malley, my good friend, who's here as my guest, thank you. Carolee Walker from SPEAR's office, and the rest of the SPEAR team. Sorry, I'm not going to name you all, but please know I really, really appreciate everything that you do. So many of these situations cannot be resolved without the help and the decisions of our colleagues in the government. We are so much more effective when we work together. I would like... thank you. I would like to thank my boss and my mentor, Governor Bill Richardson. I've worked with him for 17 years. It's a long time. 90% of what I know, I learned from him. And I want to thank him also for agreeing, I know it sounds ridiculous, for agreeing not to be here tonight. You saw he sent the video, he wanted to be here. I have asked him, I just didn't want to be staff tonight. So I really, really appreciate it. I say it not joking, I appreciate it, and it takes a man like Governor Bill Richardson to say, yeah, all right, I get it, go have your night. So I really, really appreciate that. I want to acknowledge my colleague, Ambassador Cameron Hume, who sits over there. A lot of the families know him. Thank you, Ambassador. Between Ambassador Hume, Governor Richardson, and myself, you're really looking at the extent of the Richardson Center. This is who we are. This is everybody we have. I want to really thank my wife, Robin, and my daughter, Noah, who's sitting here. They do much more than I would ever like to admit in helping resolve a lot of these situations. I would like to recognize my mother, Gay, who flew here from Israel for this. My mother, father, and brother-in-law, thank you for being here. There's a group of people here that without their support, we would not be able to do any of this work. I have already mentioned Steve Menzies over there. Frank and Erica Litvak, who flew here from California. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Abdelaziz Al-Thani, who represents the Embassy of Qatar in the United States. Thank you for your partnership and your support, Abdelaziz. Ambassador Kare As, who was the Norwegian ambassador to the United States, now the Norwegian ambassador to Israel, flew here from Tel Aviv. A good friend. I really, really appreciate you flying. Probably you just wanted to get out of Tel Aviv, but still, I really, really appreciate you being here. There's a group of people that most people in this room have never heard of. I often refer to them as fringe diplomats. They are a group of social entrepreneurs that fly with me to all of these very questionable places, and they help me build the relationships that we use in order to do this work when the time is right. So I want to thank you guys. They're sitting at the fringe table over there in the fringes. Thank you. My close friends who are here, whether it's personal friends, friends from school, thank you so much for being here. Old friends, new friends. Jamil Shamazdin, thank you for everything. There's a very special man here that the families know by name, but I think they just met him in the last couple of days. He is the elusive David Ewald, who designed the hostage flag with the work of about 50 families and designed the logo for the Bring Our Families Home campaign. An individual that almost everyone here knows, probably everyone, for his incredible work with the families and with the government. yet his name is rarely mentioned by his choice, but I'm outing him again. He is a dear friend and an incredible resource to all of us. Eric Lepson. Where is Eric? And last, certainly not least, you, the families and the prisoners. Shirelle, thank you so much for flying over here. Danny Fenster, please meet everybody, and everybody please meet Danny Fenster. Came back from Myanmar. I think despite being a prisoner who came back, I think you're new to this, so please welcome him and make sure he stays in the fold here. He's a great guy. As Robin said in the video, you, the families, are my family. A lot of you have been to my home. A lot of you have seen me at tough times. You've been there for me, even though I'm trying to be there for you. You are heroes. You are the symbol of strength and resilience. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. And I can't explain what it felt to see so many of you come here yesterday, meet some of you for the first time. I work with the families. I rarely work with the prisoners. And so seeing them here with their families is just extremely emotional. And I promise we will never stop working until all of your loved ones are back home. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Mickey Bergman, and thank you for setting an example that we need here in Washington, and that is admitting our shortcomings. We could use more of that. And for those of us in the press who've covered Governor Richardson for a long time, that was quite a gesture that he's not here. But what a wonderful statement. Thank you and congratulations.